All right, it's 4 o'clock Finnish time, so we are ready to start our Seidat live demo. Welcome, everybody. My name is Emma, and this is Fredrik.
Hello.
We will be hosting Seidat live demo today for all of you. Idea of this webinar is to make it as interactive as possible. So if you have any questions while we are talking, or if you have any questions later on, please ask them. We have a chat in this Google Meet, so you can write your questions there. And also, if you want to, you can just open up your microphone and just say your question out loud. I will introduce first myself, as we say, ladies first. So my name is Emma Ojapuska. I am a customer success manager here at Seidat, and my responsibility is to make sure all of our customers are happy and that they stay happy. I will be here today supporting Fredrik. So this is Fredrik's live demo. So Fredrik will be showing you how he uses Seidat. He will be answering your questions. Well, me too. But if there are any technical questions, I will be here just to support and tell when Fredrik doesn't have enough knowledge. But Fredrik, feel free.
Thank you so much, Emma. It feels great and nice to see everybody online and those who will watch this afterwards. So I'm Fredrik. I'm a sales manager here at Seidat, responsible for mainly the Swedish market. Been working in Seidat for a few months, but still a lot to learn. But I feel like I've been coming into it pretty well so far, and excited to discuss a little bit how we can help your sales and marketing team to get even better.
Great, thank you. The agenda for today is that first, well, we're going to tell you what Seidat is in a nutshell, or basically, Fredrik is going to give you guys his elevator pitch. So then everybody has the same knowledge of what Seidat is, especially if you have never heard about us before and you just wanted to know today what we are. After that, we're going to go through some questions that were pre-asked. So we have some questions that already people sent to us before we had even started the webinar. So we're going to answer those. And if you have any questions, just type those in, so we will answer them immediately. After the first pre-asked questions, Fredrik is going to show a demo. So we're going to go through how Fredrik is using Seidat on daily basis. We will jump into Seidat, so to the actual platform. So you will see how the platform works on a daily basis. After that, ask any questions. And also, while we're explaining, please ask questions. We are happy to answer them. This webinar will be recorded, and the recording is on right now. So if you don't have time to watch the whole webinar, you will also get the recording tomorrow, I think, or latest 2 days after this. And if you have colleagues that you think that they should have joined today, please send them link to this webinar, the one that you get, and they can watch it too with you. All right, so I guess we can begin. Fredrik, the stage is yours.
Thank you so much, Emma. Appreciate that. So first of all, what is Seidat in a nutshell? Just here. Great. All right. So Seidat. So for you who doesn't know Seidat, or we might have some customers there as well that have a lot of knowledge. I will explain it in an easy way. So Seidat is the tool for the whole sales process. It starts already before you're actually contacting the customer for the first time. So in the lead generation, and then it continues all the way until you close the deal. So with Seidat, with the platform of Seidat, you will be able to have all your presentations in one platform, meaning that you can share it easily, both internally and also with your customers. But not only that, you will be able to use it in many ways. For instance, when you have the first meetings with your customers, just like we're showing Seidat right now, you'll be able to show your slides in Seidat. Then after the meeting, you will send out a proposal or summary of the meeting. Then you will also send a link from Seidat to the presentation. And then it continues with, when closing the meeting and also signing the contract. And to explain just a little bit more what you can do with Seidat, because of course we won't be able to go through all of it at once, but just really easy. You can create slides in there, just so you can do in PowerPoint or Google Slides, but there are so many other things as well. You can present, you can share the material. So we will go in a little bit how that works, how you can send the presentations with your customers. Also, you can analyze with Seidat. So, for instance, when you have send your presentation, you can actually get data insights when the customer has opened the presentation, but you can also look at what the customer has been looking at. In that way, you have full control of the whole sales cycle. As well, you can develop the platform. So if you might have 20 slides in your presentation, but if you want to add more or do some adjustments, you can also do that. And then, of course, as we have discussed, you can also sign the contracts directly in Seidat. One of the big benefits that we have seen Seidat for our customers is the material management, meaning that in Seidat, you will be able to have all your presentations in one platform. If it's sales decks, proposals, marketing material, internal communication, or training material. And that is very beneficial because you don't, sometimes there are companies that, let's say they have a SharePoint that they might have 5 or 6 versions of the same document. And now you don't need to get those emails that, okay, where's the latest presentation? Or where's this nice slide that was created recently? Because you will be able to find it easily with Seidat. And another thing that is very beneficial, both for sales and marketing, if we look at SaaS sales overall or sales, usually there are just a few salespeople that sell, let's say, 80% of the revenue. But with Seidat, even the low and medium performers, they can perform very well because the sales structure is very, it's visible for everybody. And in that way, you can replicate what the best salespeople do. And also relating to how can you have better meetings with customer and also sell more is that we have very flexible ways of presenting at the meetings. So in that way, at the sales meeting, you might have many slides, but depending on where the conversation goes, you will choose those slides that are most relevant for that specific customer.
Exactly. Perfect. I think you have been doing, or it feels like you have been doing sales here at Seidat for longer than just a few months.
Yeah, it feels like that.
Your elevator pitch is better than mine. So
Thank you, Emma.
all right. So next up, we're gonna jump into the platform and go through the pre-asked questions. So Fredrik, I will ask the questions. Fredrik will show you how it's done. So First question was, do people actually dare to open links that they receive? Some background information here. Just like Fredrik showed, we sent materials with Seidat with a link. So people are very used to having PDF attachments or maybe PowerPoints as an attachment, and that's how they share materials with their customers. But instead of having the attachments, we at Seidat send everything as a link. Right. So now, if you compare PDF attachment and Seidat link, do you think that people don't dare to open the link, or have you experienced that they don't dare to do it?
Really good. Thank you for that question. Actually, even with PDFs, there are also risks there that, people sometimes tend to be a little bit skeptical when they get an attachment. They will click the PDF and they actually don't know what's in there. So in that way, I don't think that's a risk. So far, I haven't had any customer that hasn't opened the link because they are afraid. And also, I think what is one thing that might also make sure that the customer isn't afraid is that in the link that we share, it's clearly from the Seidat homepage. It's not like a web address with 1,000 letters. But so in that way, I haven't seen any big risk or any hesitance from customers opening any Seidat presentation. And also something I can add with that. Sometimes you send out presentations, you might only want a few people to open a presentation. So those options are there as well. You can set expiration date, for instance, how long this link can be open. It could be an open link so that the whole company can open the presentation, but you can also restrict it so that you can put, okay, only this person with this email address can open the Seidat presentation. So those options are there as well. So in that way, I would say it's really safe.
Do you want to show how you would now create a link and send it to, like, just to create a link, and how does it look like when you send it?
Right.
Just pick a random presentation. It doesn't probably matter.
I will choose a Finnish presentation. I don't know Finnish too well, but this is how you do it. So you click here, and then this share presentation.
And now we are at the sharing page. So this is where you create all the links. If you create links from one presentation to multiple customers, you always use the same sharing page. So you just create links. You can just click it.
Exactly. And then I put say that company X, for instance.
So this link note that Fredrik just wrote there, that is a internally note. So now Fredrik will know that, okay, this link was sent from Seidat to company X. This is not visible to the customer. This doesn't affect how you can send it at all. It's just there, and then you know who you sent this link to.
Exactly. And what I really like here as well is that, sometimes with salespeople overall, they might send PDF or they might send a PowerPoint presentation after a meeting. But in many cases, they don't know if the customer actually opens the presentation. So in that way, they might call the customer after a week or after a few months and ask, hey, did you open it? Did you like it? But what I really like with Seidat is that you can actually control this. Because as you can see right now, I have this email notification. So if I press this button, it says notify immediately. So if I update these settings, this means that when the customer opens the presentation, I will get a notification immediately. So I would say that is a very beneficial thing, because then you can actually have control of the whole sales process, because you know when the customer has opened it, and then you can even see what the customer has been looking at.
Yeah. And once the link is created, it can be shared any way you like. How I usually do it is that here is the link that I want to share. I just copy the link, and then I copy paste it to my email. So I would usually put it as a hyperlink that, hey, this is what we discussed. Here you can find the offer, or this is the meeting memos, or whatever we discussed. And then I will just paste that link there, and anybody can open it. Seidat is browser-based platform, so basically, or cloud-based platform that works in the browser, which means that nobody has to download anything. Anybody can open that link if they have internet access and a browser. So basically, all devices in 2023, unless you are Fredrik going back to Sweden on a boat that doesn't have an internet connection. But otherwise, anybody can easily open it. And as Fredrik said, you will also know how many people opened it. And if you want to share privately, so you want to share, for example, Fredrik wants to share this specific presentation only to me, he can easily do it with direct share. So he would just click direct share and then share with user. From here, you just write anybody's email. So he would now write emma.ojapuska@seidat.com. You don't have to write it.
Right.
And then click send email and share. After that, I will receive an email that, hey, Emma, Fredrik wanted to share this presentation with you. Click here to open. And after that, I actually have to type in my email and passport that I use to go to Seidat. Of course, your customers might not have access to Seidat, or they might not have a Seidat account. Well, it takes approximately a minute for them to create a password, and then after that, they can open that presentation. If somebody else tries to open it, they can't, because it has not been shared with their email account. All right, so that was first question about links and do people dare to open them? The next question is kind of related to this. So may I get a PDF copy of my presentation? So if there's a situation where you don't want to share something with a link, can you also share it with the PDF?
Yes, definitely. That's not a problem.
Yes. So I will also show you how it's done. So we're in the same sharing page here. So this is a presentation, and this is how you share it. And just click here, export PDF, and then export as PDF, and then you will have a PDF copy of this presentation. So if you are not ready to move to sharing with links, it's not a problem. You will also get PDFs. All right, again, question about links. So is link opening information okay to gather if we think about GDPR? I can answer this question. So if you're familiar, GDPR laws are enforced in Europe, or at least in EU. And the thing is that you cannot gather personal information according to GDPR, if I would just put it in simple terms. And now, if Fredrik sends a link to me and it says here that sent to Emma, and I open it, I'm gonna explain this so that I will open it in an incognito window. So now the browser doesn't know that it was me who opened it. It will show here viewed once. So basically now Fredrik knows that this link was sent to Emma. And Emma probably opened it once because it shows here viewed once. This still doesn't gather any personal information. So as you can see, this link is just a normal link. So I could open it. I could send this link to my friend. If Fredrik sends this to me in an email, I can just forward the email to my friend and they open it. Fredrik wouldn't know if it's really me or if it's my friend. Right. So GDPR is not a problem here because it's an open link. Basically, anybody could open if they wanted to.
Right. Emma, just a quick follow-up question, but is it possible with some kind of analytics to sometimes understand customer behavior, but what they have been looking at?
Yes, absolutely. So, of course, we'd say that you can also have different analytics tools. I will have a short Seidat analytics in a nutshell kind of thing here. So things that you will know with Seidat analytics is, for example, how well your slides are performing, how many times link has been opened. Link opening information that exists in Seidat, as I told you, but if you want to dig in further, you want to know more, then I suggest that you do an integration between Seidat and maybe Google Analytics, Lead Feeder, whatever, HubSpot, whatever analytics tool that you're using basically for your website usually. So if you want to have integration with Seidat and Google Analytics, you will also know which slide has been the most viewed, which slide has been the most watched by time. So basically all this information that you normally also have in Google Analytics, you like from your website, you can also have that from Seidat. This is an ugly screenshot, and also this is from Universal Analytics and not Google Analytics 4. That is the new one. But basically the information is there. You will see which presentation has been the most viewed, which has the most seconds on the page, and so on. So you can then analyze. Of course, if you have, for example, Lead Feeder, you can also attach those to Seidat. So then you will know according to their IP address who are watching your Seidat presentations and so on. But this is more advanced, I would say, but it is possible to create integrations with Zapier if you want to automate stuff, or with Google Tag Manager if you want to gather more data of your presentation viewers. Also, if you want to know how your salespeople are viewing or using your presentations, you can also use the analytics for that.
And I think I've actually been using this a little bit. So for salespeople, let's say you have your first meeting with the customer and you discuss things, you might have various different solutions for them. And then they might be thinking about those different solutions. They might not be ready yet to make a decision. But as they open the presentation, you can actually check, okay, which of these slides did they actually look at? And in that way, you can be better prepared for the coming meeting. You can say, okay, during this last 3 days, they have been looking 50 times on solution 1 and solution 3. They have just looked at solution 2 twice. So in that way, they're probably not as interested in solution 2.
Yeah, so that will make sense.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's a good way as well for salespeople to actually have some data behind it, so that you can better prepare as well for the meetings.
And also, if you use Seidat for marketing purposes, for example, I have created a Seidat user guide inside Seidat, which means that I have sent that guide to our customers. It's in our chat if any one of you wants to open it. And I can easily check which use cases and which things are most interesting in that guide, because I just check it from Google Analytics and then I can see, oh, everybody's interested in analytics, surprisingly. So then I will know that, okay, maybe this is something I should focus more on when I'm talking with our customers. Perfect.
Good.
That was all the pre-asked audience questions. I would like to remind you guys that if you have any questions in mind right now, sorry, I dropped my ring. If you have any questions in mind right now, don't hesitate to ask them. Open your mic and ask it, or then use the chat. I now put a mark there so you know where the chat is, so you can write your questions there. If you are not ready to ask any questions, we can also ask questions from Fredrik. So show us, demo us, how do you use Seidat? I think we should start from the beginning.
Right.
So whenever you start sending any materials to your, like, I don't know, customer, prospect, whoever, how do you start? Like here you have the Seidat like front page, and there's
Right.
a lot of presentations here.
Right.
So how do you find your own presentations?
Yeah. So as Emma said, there are tons of presentations. What I usually do is that I start with my own name here. So you can tag presentations in Seidat, and that is also when I discussed about material management, is that it makes it very easy to find. And as well, when we talked about the top sales reps, in some companies, or it's quite often that salespeople, they actually download their own sales presentation on their computer, which means that they're usually the only ones who knows which slides are visible. But what I like about Seidat is that it's very transparent. So any in my team, they can go in and check, okay, which slides have Fredrik used? How does his sales process look like? So I always start with that. I go to tag, I go to Fredrik. And of course, here there are various things that, as I talked about as well, there are various things that you can use Seidat for. You can have it for the first meeting, proposals, training material, etc. And what I usually do is that I go to the English. My Finnish isn't that strong yet. I can go to the Finnish if I want, but I usually go to the English. I have most in English or Swedish. And then I would just choose the sales presentation here. And then I would just continue
Showing it.
Yeah.
Tags are a great way to filter the presentations. I know if you are here for the first time seeing Seidat, you might think that where are the folders, and I will tell you right now, there are no folders, and the reason is that we want to make it easy for people to find presentations, even though they are not your own. So if we would have folders in Seidat, usually presentations then tend to get hidden. So you have a folder, and then you have a subfolder, and then a subfolder. You will not find your colleagues' presentations because you don't know how they use the folders. But with tags, you just basically filter all the presentations that you have on the front page. All right, so you found your presentation, and you are ready to now go into a sales meeting, I guess.
All right.
And now, when you are in a sales meeting, what do you do? Like, how do you start presenting, and which slides do you show, or do you do something before, or do you just start presenting? How do you do it?
That's really good. So I usually start just real quick, about the company, like what is Seidat? Well, now this is a more general presentation. This is
this is not about us. This is a template. Yeah.
Right. So there are always a few slides that I start with, but then what I really like with Seidat is that you can be very flexible in the meeting. So it's not that I always have the same kind of slides that I show, but it's really depending on, okay, what are the issues right now the customer has? What are some of the things that they are interested in? If we talk about challenges, then we can go there. If we want to talk about the core features, we can go there. So it really depends where the conversation goes. So I think that's one of the beautiful things with Seidat, is that you can be very flexible. Because as you can see, I have all my slides here. In the slide deck, I can also do notes here if I want. So this is how it looks for me. So if we want to show, think about how it shows to the customer. So right now,
Frederick was looking at the presenter view. So you can open this to a new window. So basically you have your presentation open here. And once you click on the letter P, so P as in presenter view, then it will open the presenter view in a new window. And now you might be thinking that, well, I can see the presenter view while you're presenting. Well, that is because we are sharing the whole screen. Right here we have 3 screens, and one of them is completely fully shared to you.
Yeah.
If I would like to use the presenter view so that the customer does not see it, then I would have to only share one window. So once you start sharing your screen in the meeting, you just click on share one window, and then only the window below will be shown in the screen share. This might be something that is very like easy breezy, lemon squeezy for all of you, but not everybody does it. I've seen people who share their full screen, and it's not only about saying that why you shouldn't do that, but it's also like, do you want to show your customers if you get an email accidentally, or your battery in your laptop is ending, or suddenly you get a WhatsApp notification? All of those will be shown if you share your full screen. So that's why always share only one window. Or if you're using Google Meet, you can also share just one tab easily.
Right. And what I also like about this this presenter view is that sometimes salespeople, they might get a question in a sales meeting. So the customer might ask a specific question, and then the sales guy, person, they might have the answer on the last slide. It might take him 20 minutes to go there. So usually what happens is that they tell the customer, like, okay, that's a really good question, but then they will say, well, I will come to that, and then it might take 20 minutes to go there, because it doesn't look professional. When you jump, if you jump from slide 3 to slide 23, it doesn't really look that professional. But in Seidat, it's seamless. Like you don't notice anything. So if I jump here, or if I continue and go here, wherever I go, it just makes it so much easier to have flexible conversations with the customer.
And also the customer might think that you have done your homework very well, and you already know beforehand how the conversation is going to go, and you had planned the slides in that way, but then they don't know that you have the presenter view that is controlling the whole thing.
Right.
All right, so let's think that if we are in a situation where, like, I don't know, Google Meet broke down and you cannot share your screen. Can you present without screen share?
That's really good. Yeah, I can actually do that. So then let's see, I will open it here. Yeah.
Yeah. So sharing page, we go back to the same place where we previously created the link that was to be sent. And now what Frederick does, he set the link mode. The
Yes.
live workspace. So as you can see, here we have 3 different link modes. Normally, they are in browse mode. Browse mode means that if you send this link to anybody can browse through. So They just click on arrow keys or swipe through, and they can see all the slides. But now this is a live link, so this is in live mode. And when you share this specific link, you can send it with an SMS message through WhatsApp. You can use this little button here and send it. Let's send this to Emma. So I will get it and I can share it to you guys too. Seidat.com, and then send email. And now I also got the same link. So right now, well, Frederick is sharing the screen, but if he wasn't, he could just easily send this link to anybody who is in the meeting. I will also send this link to you guys. So now it's in the chat. So if you want to open it there, so you can see how it works.
Right.
Now, how do you present with the live link? How does it? How do you do?
Yeah, how do I do it? So I click on this link. And I just want to hear, in the meeting, can you see the same presentation in your computer or in your smartphone or in any of your devices?
I can also showcase it by opening the same link from my phone to my browser here, and right here, don't know how well you can see it from there, but now I opened the same link on my phone. And if you change slides, what happens? If you see my phone, you can see that the slides are switching.
Right.
Also, if any of you opened the link from the chat, you can also see that now slides are changing. So basically right now we have the screen share on, but even if we didn't have it, you can just send a link, put it to live mode, and anybody can look at your presentation from their phone, from their own browser,
Right.
whatever.
And I think this is very beneficial as well, because as you can see, the link is open. You don't need to have the Seidat. You don't need to be a licensed customer to open the presentation. You can send it to anybody. So if your marketing wants to send something with Seidat, like it can be an open link so that everybody can actually see what's going on. So I think that is very, very beneficial in that way. And also that you can open it with any device, if it's a phone or if it's a computer. Sometimes I've had meetings with customers that they can't see from their computer, and then I will just send them a link, and then they will just be able to open it with their phone. So in that way, it's a very flexible way of presenting.
And now that the link is in the same live mode, not the browse mode, it means actually that I cannot change the slides. Fredrik is in charge. If you guys open the link, if you try to open it, please try to change the slides. Please try to use the arrow keys. Good luck with that. It won't work. It's because it's a live link. So it means that you're in a live mode and everybody's watching what the presenter wants to show you.
Right. So that's what you can actually control. You can also do the other way around, that you share the link that it's in browsing mode. But then any of you could just switch to any slide that you want. But in this case, we actually want to have an interaction with you, not that you will sit now 20 minutes to go through the slides. So yeah.
Yeah. So let's say that this was a good sales meeting that you had with or without the screen share. Does anybody have any questions? Does the live link seem something that, well, sounds like very easy and nothing new, cool, or presenter view? Would it help you guys? Or do you have any questions? We are happy to answer even the toughest questions here. That's what we're here for.
And you have 30 seconds. Otherwise, we can see who's in the meeting, some of you. So we might just ask you as well out loud. I have a few friends here joining, so you should be prepared if you don't answer soon. I can ask. Actually, I have a visitor from South Africa here today. Robin, are you with us?
Yes, I'm here.
Good. Do you have any questions about the platform? What's your experience so far with Seidat?
So far, experience is great. It's easy to use, easy to sort of start building your own stuff, which is what I'm interested in at the moment. It's just how to build a slide that maybe somebody else can edit if they need to. So I think maybe you could just show us a little bit more about how to use the actual building part of the platform, how to upload certain items, how to make use of shapes, and how to make them your own, etc.
Good.
Perfect.
And Robin, you tried out the first time a week ago, Seidat. So
yes,
still
I did.
Pretty new to the software. Great. Yeah, of course. Should we start doing that then, Emma?
All right. So we'd say that you edit presentations pretty same way as you would edit PowerPoint. So for example, if we would now have this offer template, let's say that we had a great meeting with the customer, and then after that, they want us to give them an offer. How we would do it is we have a template here that we're going to use, and then we just duplicate it. So of course, maybe you want to put some personalized text there for this specific customer. So we will duplicate it, write maybe customer's name here. We can just make it up. It will be Fredrik Abe. And then I'm going to take the template tag away because this is no longer a template. And then duplicate and start editing. So as I said, the slide editor is pretty similar to what you see in other presentation platforms, but we have some features that are different to other platforms. So as Seidat presentations are online, you can, for example, add websites, embed videos, upload videos to your media bank. You can you can have so much more.
Actually, I did a test just before the demo that I usually do this to customers after we've had a meeting. I like to send a short video, just video summary. So actually, I tried it out here. So this is how it would look like. That you will put in your video, and then you can even put it on LinkedIn. Yeah, so that's how it can look. And of course, you can make the shape however you want if you want to make it like this. Or so I would say that is that for me. This is a new feature.
Yeah.
I think it's been a month or something. Yeah. It has been very, very helpful. I've done most of, well, I would say 90% of my sales meeting. When I send the proposal or when I send the presentation, I usually include the video there.
And I think videos are like bringing more personality, because then they know it was Fredrik talking to you in the meeting, and now it's Fredrik again talking to you in the offer,
Right.
basically.
Right.
Yeah. So videos are something that you can, if you have, for example, just general videos in YouTube, you can of course embed them straight from YouTube, or then you can upload them straight to Seidat Media Bank, which means that then you will have them also without the connection to YouTube. But if you want to have more special content, so right here we have the basics. We have a logo. Maybe you want to switch this to the customer logo to make it more personalized. You will open the media bank and then upload the customer's photo here, or then just use any existing photo that you might have in the media bank. And then you just add them to the slide.
Oh, that's a big one.
Oh yeah, that's a big one. Maybe we don't want to put it too big. And then you just,
sorry,
no problem. Then you just put it on the right place and delete the old one, and then here you have the customer's logo. This is already more personalized material. All the elements that you want to add to the slide are on the left. So you basically add just text, images, any shapes here. All of that is here. One thing about Seidat is that we will have some guidelines here. So basically, your company probably have your own brand image. And that is something that you set up to Seidat once you start using Seidat. So the idea is that when all the salespeople, all the marketing people, everyone is in the same platform, everyone is also forced to use your brand colors, your brand fonts, your brand images, your brand everything. This helps the marketing people to not to have to go through all the sales guys presentations and see who is using Comic Sans and who is using a pink font when they're not supposed to. As right here, we have text box here. And if I want to change the font, I will click here, and then I don't have all the fonts that are available in the world here. I only have the fonts that are part of my brand. Those are something that the marketing people set up once you start using Seidat. So they do it the whole onboarding with us, and then you will have only your brand things there. Also, you would add your own color palette. So if you want to add some shapes here, for example, a little, this is very hard English word for me. No, it's round. I almost said square because that's like almost impossible in my Finnish mouth. But here you would have your own brand palette, and then you just use those colors that are according to your brand guidelines. Then if we go to the more interactive and special content, you can also add your own websites, your customer website, maybe a calendar, booking calendar, or whatever you like. Everything can be on the slide. So Fredrik, if you just want to add, for example, our homepage, so our like Seidat.com,
right?
How would you do it?
Yes, let's see here. You can put the iframe, of course, here. Then I put it up here.
Yep, just take everything off.
Yeah.
Yep. So you just write any website there and click enter. And then once you're presenting, you can also present the website. So for example, if you have your pricing page only on your website, you have not had time to already put it in your offers or in your decks, you can just put the videos there, the website there, and it will work the same way as it works in your own website. So now if we would open this slide as a viewer, I would have it here. I can click on any of the buttons here. It will work the same way as it works on our website. So you can have more interactive content in whatever you do. We usually use our own calendars there. We have calculators, we have videos. That's how we utilize these special features that are not part of other slide platforms.
Right. And I would say that's very beneficial, because many of the sales teams or the sales managers that I've talked to, or the sales directors, they mention usually that sometimes they might show a demo from the web page or just how the web page looks like. Then they will first start with the PowerPoint, and they will show the PowerPoint, and then they will close down the PowerPoint, and then they will go to the website. They will go to the browser, and that's a hassle sometimes. So having that in that possibility to actually include it in the presentation is a very professional way as well of working with presentations.
Yeah. And also, if you are not the best one doing like graphical slides that look good, for example, I am a good example of that, you can always utilize your friends or your colleagues' slides. So as everything is in the same platform and you have a presentation that really needs one slide more, and you know that, hey, I think my colleague just created that slide, so how could I get it from them?
Right.
Normally, you would probably have to ask them in Slack or email or Teams that, hey, you created this nice slide, where can I find it? Now that we're in Seidat, can you show how to just find slides from other people without asking them?
Right, yeah. So you go to tags, and then you will put, for instance, you can put
Heikki, if I could.
Heikki.
He has nice slides there, I think.
Exactly. So then you can add, whatever you can put. If you want to have this one or whatever. And then if I say, okay, well, Heikki has these ones. What does Emma have? Emma is good with presentations. What does she have? Then I can go to her. I can go to this company. It's like, okay, she has this. Well, I like this slide actually. Then I'll just add that as well in the presentation.
Yeah, and that works easily with Slide Bank. Frederick went quite fast. He clicked the Slide Bank so that we didn't even see what he was doing. So I'm going to recap. So if you want to open the Slide Bank on any presentation, you just add from Slide Bank here, and then here you will have all the presentations that are in your Seidat account and also smart slides. Now, what are smart slides? You may ask, Frederick. Do you want to explain?
Yeah, I can explain that. That's also a common question I get. So smart slides, it's a feature basically in many sales teams or marketing teams. When the salespeople are out presenting with customers, they usually have a few slides that are general. There might be like 3-4 slides that all the salespeople using. It can be, for instance, like the company information. It can be about specific feature of the product, or it can be other things like that. Meaning that when you do updates to those, then you want it to be general to everybody. And would say that is, I would say, that's one of the big benefits, is that you can have better control of your material management. So when you update a slide, if it is a smart slide, if it is a slide that is general, that is used amongst the people in the organization, then you can just update it once, and then it will be updated in every other presentation that uses that slide.
Yeah. As for example, in this presentation, we can see that some of these slides have this little link icon and the white triangle here. It means that this is a smart slide. So, for example, why we? Usually this is something that all the salespeople go through, and the salespeople do not make any changes to this specific slide. But if we change our vision and mission, and suddenly we start answering the question why we differently, then we would only have to go to this slide, edit smart slide, we're sure about it, and then do whatever changes we want to do here. And then once we click save, now this smart slide will look exactly like this in all the sales guys presentations because it is linked as a smart slide.
Right. But also it is an alternative sometimes, because you have the salespeople or the people working with presentation. They would also like to have their own kind of special slides, and of course that is possible as well. You don't share all the slides with everybody in the organization, so that possibility is of course there as well. That you can have your own slides that you make a little bit nicer, and that you only want to be in your presentation.
Exactly.
Right. Do we have any more questions? Robin, did we answer? It was a quite long answer. Did we answer it?
Yes, you did very much. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, the smart slides, I was still looking into that, so at least now I know how to use it. Thank you.
Yes.
Good. Do we have anybody else?
If there are no other questions yet, I can also ask Frederick, how do you get the email notification? Like that is something that everybody is always using. It is one of our most liked features. So how, if you now share this presentation, how do you share it so that you will also get the email notification that it is open? Now, can we just go through it once again, because that is important feature.
Of course. Yes. So we go here. We have the presentation here. We go to this, share presentation, create a new link, right? So here is the link to this presentation, and then we put company X, for instance, and then we put this bottom here, email notifications. So notify immediately, and then update notifications. And you see here is my email address, fredrik.malmsten@seidat.com. So I update that, boom. So now when I copy a link and I send it to an email, it's like, here's the presentation. Please let me know if there's anything else you would like to discuss before our next meeting. So then when the customer opens that presentation, I will get the link immediately on my email that says, okay, now this presentation has been opened.
Perfect. I think this is one of the most liked features from our customers and also for myself, because I send all my offers with Seidat, and sometimes I send an offer and the customer says that, sorry Emma, today is not the right time. Can you please circle back to me in 3 months? Well, 3 months is very vague, so it could be that it's happening in 2 months or 4 months. But as I have sent the offer as a link and got the notifications, I will know exactly when they start going through the presentation in their own company. And then I can just grab my phone and be like, hello, I see 3 months have passed today. Are you ready to discuss?
Right.
Yeah.
Actually, one of our sales guys, he actually has gotten two deals this spring just because of that notification feature. So in that way, you can really own the sales process. As Emma said, it's very often that you're in a sales meeting and you might have a really good conversation. They might be really interested, but they say, well, we don't have the money right now. Call me in 6 months. Then the salespeople, they write it in the CRM and then they call them in 6 months. But what if they would get budget after 3, as Emma said? You cannot know it, right? Unless they call you, but it's really uncommon. So what usually happens is that after 3 months, they get their budget, then they go back to the presentation. And then they might look at the competitors as well. And then, if the sales guy then calls after 3 months, then they might have already done their decision. So in that way, you can really have a better control of your sales process, because you will know when the customer is ready to continue.
Now, if any one of you got excited about Seidat and had not tried this before or even heard us about, like, you didn't know what Seidat is before, you can start using Seidat for free. You get a 2-week free trial with all the possible features. And if you are thinking now that, well, that sounds good, but my PowerPoint decks or my Google Slides decks are ugly, it doesn't matter. We offer Seidat templates for all new users. So once you create a Seidat account, you will have these template presentations. Basically, these should cover most of, or even if maybe all parts of the sales process. So we have here general teaser, so what your company is about. If you want to set just a short presentation and want to send it to somebody, then we have personal teaser, means that about the person themselves can say that, hey, my name is Emma and I do this. Then we can have the sales deck, meeting minutes template, proposal template, and even the agreement template. Those are all in the new Seidat accounts that you create, and you can edit them, utilize them as much as you can. So you can just switch to your own logos, your own pictures, change the fonts to match your own brand image, and then you're basically free to use Seidat like in an hour or something. Maybe if you are more strict, then maybe 2 days, but still very fast.
And also, Emma, something to add on that as well is that many companies, they might already have a PowerPoint that like PowerPoint deck that they really like. Is it possible to also use that in Seidat?
Yes, of course. If you already have PowerPoint decks that you want to use, or Google Slides decks, those can also be imported. So you can create Seidat presentations from the blank, so just starting from the blank page, or then you just click on Import PowerPoint, you choose the PowerPoints, and then you bring them to Seidat. It will automatically add all the pictures that you are using to your Seidat media bank, and then you can just start editing them in Seidat if you want to add, for example, more interactive content, if you want to put them in the matrix formula and not just a line as the PowerPoints usually are. And if you want to use our templates with the PowerPoints, you just basically use the slide bank here, and then Chadam, you are free to use your PowerPoints together with our own general teaser or our own templates. Did anybody get very interested? If you are, our marketing has also added the link of how to register to Seidat for free in the chat. So just click on that and create an account, and then you're up to go. Is that a saying in English? I don't even know.
Yeah, you're ready to go.
You're ready to go.
Yeah.
Yes, close enough. All right. Fredrik, do you have something to add?
Oh, yeah.
I've been the one who's asking questions, so.
Do I have anything to add? Well, kind of to summarize, this is not just like a, how do you say, like a software, SaaS software. It's a solution. It's a solution for both the sales and marketing teams. And if I would say, okay, well, why should you use Seidat? Like, what are the, I guess, 3 most important things with Seidat? First of all, I would say when you have new salespeople coming in, you will be able to onboard them very, very quickly, because you have a very clear sales structure when using Seidat. Also, when it comes to material management, you can save a lot of time and energy as well. That you will always be able to find the most recent presentations. It will be visible as well. What does the other presentations look like? You can create new ones. You can share. So in that way, you can save a lot of time. But also, I would say, as we discussed in the beginning, one of the biggest issues for sales companies is that they have a few salespeople that sell most of the revenue. But in Seidat, you can actually replicate what the best salespeople are doing. So even the low, the medium, or even the low performers, they can do so much better with Seidat, since it's a very clear process and everything is visible in the platform. Do you have anything you would like to add as a, maybe more with a marketing perspective?
Yeah, one thing that our customers who are marketing managers or marketing directors or brand people, what they like the most is the centralized content management. So we were talking about smart slides. With them, you can easily update 1,000 presentations with just one click. But also, you will always have power over the brand and over how the visual side of all presentations are, no matter who's using them, because you will be the one who is setting the brand there. You will be the one who is adding the right images, the right smart slides, the right everything. And then they cannot slip from that. Then it's all the control is for you. The thing is that in Seidat, you can decide who can do what. So if you're a marketing manager, you can be the brand manager in Seidat, which means that you can edit the fonts, you can edit the color palette and so on. But if you're just a basic basic, for example, sales guy, then you will just have editor rights, which means that you can edit presentations, create them, present them, share them, but you cannot change the brand settings at all. So we have made it very easy to centrally manage all the sales and marketing materials at one place for basically the whole company.
Right.
All right. We will be here for another 5 minutes to answer your questions. Other than that, I want to thank you for watching this, and also if you hopped in at half point of this webinar, you didn't hear something too well, you will get the recording tomorrow, and me and Fredrik will be holding similar webinars every once in a while. Can't promise you when it's the next one, but also if you want to look for our other webinars, we have in our website Seidat Academy, and here we have all the webinars that are upcoming and also the recordings of the old ones.
Right.
So those are there for anybody to watch in English and also in Finnish if you also speak Finnish.
Actually, I have a coming webinar as well in about 2.5 weeks about how to go through the buzz in sales in 2023. So I think that would be interesting for those working with sales. So how can you reach the right decision makers, and how should you present yourself when you get in contact with directors or CEOs that have maybe 50 calls a week or a lot of people contacting them? How can you get through that buzz? So I think that would be very interesting for people, working especially with sales. So, we will post more about it within short. So I would recommend you to join that as well. It would be fun.
Great. All right. We are here to listen for your questions, and if nothing, have a great day, and I hope to see you in the next webinar.
Thank you.
Thank